And we're on. Good evening, whatever, where you are. It's time for our next Know It Alls podcast slash hangout with ESC United. And I'm back here with my awesome team. Jake, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
It's Sunday, you know. I'm not looking forward to Monday. So, and we have back my dear Sadie. How are you, my dear?
I'm good, but I'm tired. But yeah, I'm good.
I'm happy to hear that. Well, we have once again a lot to talk about. There is last week was the week before was I think a lot more was going on than this past week, but nevertheless we have a few items for you all to talk about. And as always, you can join us live on YouTube. We always are on their chat. No way, this is a live hangout. Nothing is scripted. It's live, so if we mess up, you'll see it. You can add us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is ESC United. Use hashtag ESC United. Say that 5 times fast. And you can reach us on our forum as well. And so there are many, many ways to get in touch with us. So we really, 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 really want to know your opinion as well, because we can talk all day long, and that's nice and good, but we want to hear from you as well. So with that said, we're going to start with the first item of the day. It broke a few days ago, and it is related to Ireland, a country that hasn't been doing too well these past few years, but there are rumors out there. The online world, it's spreading fast, that Nicky Byrne may represent Ireland at Eurovision in 2016. Did I say the name wrong? How do you pronounce his name? Is that
Nicky
correct?
Byrne. Nicky
Byrne?
Byrne.
Nicky Byrne.
Yeah.
Okay, I said that the right way. And so, in case you don't know who he is, because I live in America, we wouldn't know who he is. Was part of Westlife, an Irish band who was very, very popular, not just in Europe, but also in many other countries in Asia or wherever. I think they started in the early 2000s and just disbanded a couple of years ago. Am I correct, Sadie? Am I getting my facts correct?
Yeah, they disbanded a few years ago, but they've all gone their separate ways, done different things. So yeah, they haven't got back together yet.
Okay. Okay, so they're all doing their own thing, and Nikki was one of them. So just to give you a few more details on that, nothing has been confirmed, but nothing has been denied either. As a matter of fact, RTE said the only thing that they said is they will be making an announcement regarding the selection process later this month. So that being said, the media already talked to Nicky Byrne about this, and he neither denied nor confirmed the rumor. So that is, of course, leaves a lot of room for speculation. Sadie, back to you. What else is going on? Do you have any other additional details on the Nicky Byrne situation? What are your thoughts on it?
I think a few people know my thoughts by now. No, he has said he would never turn the opportunity down, and he would grasp it with both hands. So I think, and he did say that the winning Eurovision song is going to be sung at his wedding in the summer. So that gives me a feeling that he's going to be singing at his own wedding in the summer. That's what everything points towards. But I've always been a big Westlife fan. He was my favourite, so I'm happy.
And was he your favorite Westlife member as well, or who's your favorite? Be honest.
No, it was him.
It was him. All
Yeah.
right, there you go. Uh, what else? Jake, your thoughts since you live in the UK as well.
Um, I, yeah, it's a name. They've gone for a name. Whether he's got the right song and the winning formula is yet to be seen. But I think it's a step in the right direction. After the last couple of years, they've not done too well. So I
Mhm.
think trying to change the format, whether it be what they did a couple of years ago with Dervish, where they have a couple of songs and the public will vote for that, or they'll just go completely internal and they'll pick him on the song or whatever. But I don't know. They're going in the right direction because well, it's just flopped the last couple of years.
Yeah. So that was my next question, actually. So I'm going to ask you that. So, in case you don't know, previously, the past few years at least, they had the show. It's called the Late Late Show. Is that correct?
Yeah.
or something like the Late Late Show, and they had like 5 acts perform, and then they had this odd voting system, and it was a weird time. So do you think now, granted, it didn't work as well, but switching from a national final to an internal selection and allegedly sending a big name, do you think that's enough to actually succeed, or you took the shot, Jake?
I don't think it's um, yeah, it's a positive thing. They're going in the right direction, but I don't think it's ever right to internally select purely because look at the UK, go from national finals and bad results led to internal selections and bad results. So it's not necessarily a winning formula. I think I'd still like to see them. I'd like to see them change their national final format. I think that's the best thing for them to do instead of going internal. I think they had the Late Late Show for so many years. They need to change that. But saying that, if he goes to Eurovision and he wins, then I'll hold my hands up. But I think national finals all the way.
All right. I see that Stefan has joined us. He had some sounds issues earlier. Stefan, can you hear us? Can we hear you?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
Whoop,
fine.
whoop, whoop. So yeah, no, it worked out that you switched computers. So it's good to have you, Stefan. Another
Yeah.
member of our ESC United team. We're glad that you joined. You probably heard our conversation, and you're being from the Balkan. Were Westlife famous there as well, or is it more of a, UK, Germany, Netherlands?
Not so much really, but they had some songs, some videos shown on VH1 and MTV Adria, but in commonly known, not so much.
Okay, so it's not going to be like they would be like, oh my God, it's Nicky Byrne. It's like, who? Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just interesting because I don't know exactly how popular he is across the continent, but he's definitely more popular in, that's the western part of the
Yeah,
continent.
yeah.
So my question is, at least, I did some research on it because once again, I didn't know Westlife that well. I knew a few songs, and all I know about them is that, from what I hear, I'm sure they had original material as well, but for the most part, they usually did covers. Is that correct, Sadie? That's what they were known for, covers of like very famous songs?
Well, they have done covers, but I've been on their farewell tour. Out of 18 dates, I went to 17, and they had all their own material that they'd never released on their farewell tour. So I think that's something we're never gonna see. But all the albums that I have, that they have got, I think it's probably 2 or 3 covers per album. So the bulk of it is original material.
Okay. So now you, as the Westlife expert, I'm going to ask you this. At least there were some concerns or questions raised online about Nicky Byrne. Should he represent Ireland? Again, still speculations at this point. But if he should represent Ireland, he was not known to be the lead vocalist, and people questioned his singing ability. Can you confirm or deny that? Is he a good singer, or is he really just, because he was always just like the backup singer, basically, somewhere while the other guys were doing the lead singer?
No, I think he has done lead vocals, and there's a very famous song that they done for sport. I think it was Comic Book Sport Relief here, and it was an old Billy Joel song, and he took the lead vocals in that, and he was absolutely outstanding. So I think he has got the ability to wow Eurovision.
Okay. Well, plus, if Jedward can do it, and I think anybody can do it. Not that I'm trying to compare them, because I don't know his singing that well. I cannot make a comment. That he's actually also another fact I read earlier. He's the only one, because there are 5 Westlife members, right? When they disbanded. He's the only one who did not release any music. All the other ones went on ahead and had like some solo album or some kind of work done. He went more into the hosting, TV presenting world. And now this, if that happens, I think that would be great exposure for him. We'll keep you up to date on what's going to happen with that and whether or not he's going to represent Ireland. But it certainly would be a lot of exposure for him and the contest, having a famous name on there, and we'll see how that goes. So let's move on to something else, and that is the Lithuanian national final. And Jake, I know you had to sit through it yesterday, and I'm going to ask you in a second to give us a quick overview. But before we do that, I just have, because Lithuania is known and notorious for having a very, I'm trying to be politically correct, elaborate process selecting their song. And they changed it up this year a little bit. Last year they had like really like almost like an idol like style where they voted out people, and then at some point they narrowed it down to a group of people. This year I'm going to read it from Wikipedia real quick. So if it's incorrect, don't yell at me. Go to Wikipedia and fix it. But basically what they're saying, the entries will initially compete in two different streams. Artists and songs will be split into two subgroups. Artists that entered without a song and artists that entered with a song. So there are two parts, basically. Artists that applied without a song were matched with songs that LRT, the Lithuanian broadcaster, received during the submission period. So there were also songwriters submitting songs without an actual singer. So the qualifying acts from each subgroup will participate in an additional show devoted to each subgroup, where half of the entries will be eliminated. The remaining artists and songs from each subgroup will then compete against each other in one show, where the finalists will be determined. Is your head spinning yet? So the winner will be selected in the final show. The results of each of the 8 shows will be determined by a 50-50 combination of votes from a jury panel and public voting. So Jake, as I said, you watched it yesterday, you did live coverage. Yesterday was which, the one, the artist with a song or without a song?
The artist with was last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I was dreading it, as you know. I mentioned yesterday I did not want to watch it, but I felt obliged. But I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. At first it was a bit slow. There were some awful songs, but then there were some really good songs. They saved the best to last, which was Donny Montel. He blew her out the water. He was amazing.
Tell us who he is, in case people forgot.
He represented Lithuania a couple of years ago with Love Is Blind, and he did all this crazy dancing and handstands and stuff. But he did quite well for a Lithuanian representative. He did well.
So there were 8 songs, right, in the running yesterday?
Yeah, there were 8 songs, and they all got performed, and then something happened, and you had these random people FaceTiming and giving their votes. I think they were songwriters or something, but they were just FaceTiming, giving votes. Then it went to the actual panel or something and televotes. They combined them together. 5 went through and 3 got kicked out.
Okay. Do you have the list by any chance who moved on and who's out?
The ones that went through were Donny Montel. There was Erica Jennings, who represented Lithuania in 2001 as part of Scamp. She went through. There was, give me 2 seconds. Who are the others? Petunia with Tomorrow went through. Behind the Moon went through, and Alice Way went through. So the 3 that were eliminated were Dovydas, Petrosius, Elena Ugai, and Vlad Max. They were all kicked out. So 5 went through and 5 got kicked out. I apologize for my pronunciation. I'm not Lithuanian.
Yeah, I've heard yourself pronouncing those names, but you're doing a better job than I would. Stefan, question for you. Do you think, and Lithuania changes it up every year, it seems, when it comes to the selection process. Do you think an elaborate process is more beneficial or even hurtful, or does it matter? Because some countries have like a very complicated process. Some have just a very straightforward 10 songs and 1 wins. What are your thoughts? Do you think the more complicated the better, or keep it simple and straightforward?
Well, I think that they want to keep it fresh, so the public attention is always big. For simple context, but it's good for like smaller countries. But yet again, when you have so much applicants, like in Denmark, to pick like 6 or 7 songs by those who applied, because I think like 3 songs are picked by the TV, by the special calls. I'm not sure about that, but the best thing is to keep it fresh. Lithuania is doing it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And one thing we also need to point out, it seems like a lot to us. Even me as a diehard fan, I'm like, I can do all of this. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah. For me also, it's
yeah.
For me also, it's really a lot, but they have public attention.
That's exactly what's my point is, because last year even they had like already tons of shows and selection and elimination shows, and then it was so popular they decided, you know what, we get so many viewers, let's add another 5 shows. Or I don't know if it's 5, but you know, they added additional shows to it.
Yeah.
I have to report on this. Don't do this to me. So, but yeah, if there is interest in it, you know, I guess that makes sense for the broadcaster, because we also need to remember, yes, to us, we are somewhere far away in the other side of the world or on the other side of the continent. The show is designed also to bring in numbers and create entertainment for the broadcaster, and it's working for them. So whatever they need to do to, you know, bring in money, I guess, you know, that's their right to do so. So that was only, as I said, the first show of the night. We'll have a lot more, so we'll have a lot more videos on the Lithuanian selection, so I'm going to keep this short. But the last thing I want to ask, and we've been doing that, your favorite Lithuanian entry to date. So I'm going to start with you, Sadie.
Oh, it has to be. I had a Eurovision party when I was at university, and I had a Lithuanian flatmate, and we both did love Donny Montel. So we're both really pleased he's attempting to return. So yeah, it was Donny Montel.
Donny Montel. All right, so 1 vote for Donny Montel. How about you, Jake?
99, Aistea, Strasdas. It didn't do too well. She looked as if she'd been dragged off the street, but the song was amazing. I love it.
Okay, well, that's 2 votes, because that's my favorite one as well. I didn't think anybody else would pick it, but I thought it was just... Lithuania, I wouldn't call it, you put it in the top of my list in terms of, you know, quality when it comes to Eurovision, but that song, at least to me, stood out. Sorry, Lithuanians. I'm sure nobody's watching them from Lithuania, so they don't care. But yeah, they didn't really send a whole lot of songs, so I'm like, woo! But that one, I do remember, was actually pretty good. Stefan, what's your favorite?
I would say last year's entry and maybe 2008, Moment in the Night. Those 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one. It's one of those songs I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, well, you know, there's no accounting for taste, so we all have our favorites, I guess. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We're going to move on to Slovenia. Slovenia has also announced their national final. It's, again, now, correct me here, Stefan, is it EMA or EMA? How do you pronounce it? Is there...
EMA, like, no, it's like EMA.
EMA. Why say it EMA?
Eurovizijska melodija.
Whatever you said, yeah. And, so anyway, so there will be 10 songs competing, and just to give you a quick overview on how it's going to work, all 10 songs will compete, and then a 3-member jury will pick the top 2. There's no televote involvement at that point. That's at least according to Wikipedia. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, and then at that point, the top 2 are chosen. Then the televoters get to pick between those 2. What are your thoughts on this, Stefan? Is that how it's been in the past as well, or is that a new concept?
Yeah, it was like last year, and I think in 2011 also. 2000, yeah, it was like in recent years. It was like that because last year I remember. Some songs were selected from the applications, and some songs were selected by the calls from the national television. I don't think so. It was like this this year, but normally before this year they picked one from the applicants and one from the special calls from the national TV. It was like that in the jury.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Do you think, Jake, that having the jury having the first say between the top two songs is a good thing, or you think it's dumb not having the televoters involved at all until the very end?
I think it's a really good thing. Thinking of it, if the UK had that this year, and Jedward are in it, then they'll have Jedward there to bring in the viewers, because people are, oh, Jedward are in it, I'll watch it. But then the jury can kind of kick them out, so they don't actually have a chance to kind of humiliate the UK in Eurovision. So I think it's good because they can attract people by having certain names, but then they don't need to actually have them, the public, because the public would vote for someone like Jedward. So eliminating them before the public get a chance, I think it's a good thing. I don't know much about the Slovene participants, except I know a few of them, but if there's somebody there like that, then it would be good for them to get kicked out early on, so the actual songs can get voted for.
Yeah. So did you realize this is the second time the 3 or 4 of us are picking on Jedward? Right? Last week we were just like Jedward this, Jedward that, and we're back to it. So I think all the Jedward fans just totally turned off.
Well, I have to say, so sorry for everyone in the UK who is watching this, but I would love to see them again in the Eurovision.
Okay, we're going to kick Stefan off the broadcast now. We just judge you behind your back. Don't worry. So you enjoy Jedward?
Yeah, I met them in Copenhagen, like 2 most greatest guys I know.
Yeah, I mean they're fun. That's the thing, because I go to Eurovision every time, and I get to meet these artists, and it's really weird. You start almost like disassociating the song from the artist, because you meet these people. I'm like, oh my god, I really, really love them. Like I remember in 2014 the Israeli song, Same Hearts. I didn't like it at all, but I loved May Feingold. She was like May Feingold. She was so much fun, so friendly, and I didn't care about the song anymore. So I'm like, go, go, go. It's just really weird when you get a different perspective like that, which is maybe not the most professional aspect, because you're supposed to judge the best song, but I'm human, I can't help it. But speaking of the artists, we have a few returning artists in Slovenia as well. Nusa Dorenda. Do you want to explain to us, Stefan, who she is?
Well, she represented Slovenia in 2001. And she equaled their best result. It's 7th place. This year, she's back again in the Slovenian national final. She also competed a few times before, and rumor has it that Ray composed her song.
I'm sorry, who composed the song?
The Ray from Mariah.
Oh, see, that's good news. I didn't even know that. That would be kind of cool. I did like that song. And then there is somebody else I have here on the list.
It's Regina. Right? Regina. I think she represented Slovenia in 1996. I think she also represented Yugoslavia, but I'm not sure. I think she's like more than 50 years old. And she had a big comeback single last year. So she's like back again in the public view in Slovenia.
All right. Well, it's good to have a few known names on there. And Sadie, and I'm going to ask everyone, like, Sadie, Slovenia, as Stefan pointed out, the best result to date was the 7th place back in 2001, 15 years ago, basically. What do you think, or why is it that Slovenia just doesn't seem to do well at Eurovision? Is it just the song quality? What do you think? Is it just the music doesn't connect with the people? Why do you think Slovenia is just underwhelming when it comes to Eurovision?
Well, personally, I don't know any mainstream Slovenian artists, and I noticed a lot of artists, like from the Balkan countries, are mainstream. So and the song quality, I really don't know. I really don't know on that one, to be quite fair.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? Any idea?
I don't know. They're so underestimated all the time, and they've had some amazing songs like Alenka, like Daria Svaja, and then there was one that everyone was expecting to do like really well, in 2008. But it was when she had like the guys on the chains and stuff. Everyone was
Oh,
expecting that
yeah.
to do well, but it failed. So I don't know. They have had some really good songs, but they just don't get the votes. And you can say that about a lot of countries. And I think Slovenia is just one of those forgotten countries that people just don't vote for.
I see. Now, Slovenia is also usually the country that is technically part of like the ex-Yugoslavian corner, but there's always these things that they don't get as much love when it comes to points in Eurovision than the other countries. Is that correct, Stefan? They usually don't get as many points from like Croatia or Serbia and all the other countries?
Well, I think you're wrong because most of the ex-EU countries do vote for Slovenia. The problem is in the other European countries because the block voting is still in game, no matter to the juries, because when most of the people who are voting are seeing the songs and the countries for the first time on the semifinals and the final, and when they think like, oh, who am I gonna vote for? Slovenia. I don't think so. I'm so sorry also for Slovenia because we have a saying in our country, literally translated, they're the last hole on the flute.
What does that mean exactly? The last hole in the flute. What actually does it translate to?
That's like the last thing you want to do.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, when I say that, Slovenia doesn't get as many points, these are just things that I heard. I didn't write down exactly how many points they got from each country. It's just a thing that floats around online that people are saying. So you're saying that is incorrect, which is interesting. That's why we're doing this. The songs will be, performed soon. You can listen to them online. Make sure you do it, and we're gonna review them soon. And hopefully you're all going to join for that. And let's talk about Slovenia one last time. Jake, your favorite Slovenian song?
Can I pick two?
Which one?
Can I pick two?
Perfect two?
Can I pick two?
You can pick two. What is perfect two? Yeah, you can.
Nusa Derenda Energy from 2001, and then Alenka with Alenka as well.
All right, Sadie?
Mine's not actually from Eurovision, it's from Junior Eurovision, and that's this year's entry, Lena Kadozovic, I think her name is, but she gave Slovenia their best ever placing at any Eurovision event. She came third, and she did really well for me, and she was my favourite.
All right, so I don't know much about a Junior Eurovision, so I don't know that song, so that's interesting. Stefan, what's your favorite Slovenian song?
I would have to say like maybe from 2011, Maja Keuc.
Yeah, actually, that I would have picked that one as well. I thought she had a great vocal. She sounded more like Christina Aguilera to me, which is a good thing. And I did like in 2005, Omar Naber Stop. That should have qualified, in my opinion. That was like the first time I was really upset the song didn't make it through. So that would be my two favorites. So as we get closer to the national final, we'll keep you updated on who the favorites are and our reviews. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about Stockholm. And this might not really apply to everyone that's listening, but in case you are going to Stockholm for Eurovision this year, you need to know a little bit about how it works in case you've never been before. But this past week, the broadcaster, they announced and gave us a few more information on the events and what's going on, and I just headed up in a second ago and I closed out of it. But basically they announced where the Euro Club and the Euro Village are going to be at, and I want to give you a quick understanding of what they are and what they're doing in case you go in there you don't know exactly how it's all going to work out. But basically the Euro Club is for the most part, at least, it's usually where the delegates and even the artists and the press and anyone who has any sort of accreditation, they're going to go to celebrate, to watch the show, and just to have a good time. There are also usually, I'm not for sure if it's going to be like that this year, but in last year and the year before, like regular fans without any press passes or any special passes were able to purchase tickets. There was like a limited number of tickets available for everyone to get in. So this may or may not be the case this year. I have to double check on that, but that's usually what the Euro Club is. And this year it's a special venue. Will be built at the waterfront out the Royal Palace at the Lastet Arena, wherever that is. I need to look that up on the map. And then we also have the Eurovision Village, and it'll be just a few minutes away at the Royal Gardens. And the village is basically open to anybody. This is where they have a lot of concerts. It opens usually the Sunday where they have the red carpet, which is the Sunday before the actual finals and the semifinals. And they're going to have a lot of the artists come on there and perform. They have, you know, singers who took part in the past going to be there. They have a lot of souvenirs there and shops and stores and just like a little like area, a little village, as the name kind of gives away, just dedicated to Eurovision, and it's a lot of fun, and anybody can go there, and this is what's going to be there for. There's also going to be usually a Euro Cafe. That's not officially sponsored by the EBU, by Eurovision or the broadcaster. That's something done, if I'm not mistaken, by the fan club OGE, but that's also become a very big thing over the past, where fans can also go and hang out with each other and listen to music, watch the shows live if they want to. They have fun like karaoke events. They have Eurovision quizzes and all of that good stuff going on there. And Stefan, out of the ones, you and I were the only ones who actually technically have attended Eurovision before. Have you been to one of these events, and which one do you like the best? Stefan, can you hear me?
Oh, you're asking me, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were asking Jake.
No, you. He hasn't been yet. I have been.
I was in Eurovision last year and the year before for the first time. For me, first I have to say that it's finally a good thing that Euroclub and Eurovillage is just like 15 minutes away from the arena. I haven't been so much in the Eurovillage, but Euroclub is like the place to be during the Eurovision.
Yes, no, that is true. It is fun, and I enjoyed a lot. Last year, I remember the Eurovision Village. I mean, you know, all the opening ceremony happened there. They had Conchita Wurst give a concert. It was big and it was beautiful, and it's just a very grand experience, and you don't realize how big it is until you actually attend one of those events. Jake, have you ever watched like the opening ceremony online or anything?
Yeah. I was watching last year. Obviously, you were all there in Vienna, and I was stuck at home watching it on screen.
Did you see me
yeah.
running around?
Huh?
I said, did you see me running around?
No, but I saw a rather Moldovan representative with chains and things like that.
Yes.
So that was quite interesting. It took forever as well.
It is super lengthy, and it takes a long time because you have like 40 countries and they all get their own entrance, you know, like and here they are. It's like the Oscars kind of thing. I guess they're trying to add a little glamour to the event. It's very interesting. But yeah, and then they have a quick interview with like one of the hosts, and then they walk down the red carpet, and then they take pictures with the fans, sign autographs, and they talk to like a few media outlets, and it's a long process. I was there for God how many hours, and I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. It was fun though. I went to Euroclub afterwards. I enjoyed, and the fans can go there as well. The press has their own section. There's a fan section, so if you want to go there, make sure you show up early because there is a lot of interest. There were thousands and thousands of people, and it's a first come first serve kind of thing. So make sure to be there. There will be probably so many other things in Vienna. For instance, there were different parties at different bars and clubs throughout the week. So we'll put that all up on our website as well as soon as the information become available. But one thing for sure is you will not be bored. Especially if you only want to do Eurovision while you're doing Eurovision, this is the thing to do. Anything else you guys want to add for the venue? I know as not everyone has been, but am I missing anything?
I think you just covered it then with like the themes, where they have like the Nordic party, and things like that.
Oh, that's true. They do. Some countries / delegations have delegation parties. Not all of them. It used to be more of a thing. It gotten away a little bit, but basically, San Marino, for instance, does it almost every year. It's also good promotion. Basically, the delegations put together a party, an event where the press, the other delegations, some fans can go and attend and meet the artists. They do concerts, they provide food, and there's lots and lots of music. It's a lot of fun. I only went to one party last year, actually. I only went to the San Marino one. But the year before, I went to like the Belarus one, I went to San Marino, I went to the one in the Israel one, and as you pointed out, there's a Nordic one as well. That one apparently seems to be a little bit more exclusive. Like you have to have some kind of connection with the Nordic countries to get in there. Like it's more of a invitation, like only certain people can go. But all the Nordic countries, come together and have a big Eurovision party at a venue, whichever it may be. So they're a lot of fun if you get in. If you don't, then, oh well, sucks to be you. But I know, that's me. So those are fun events as well. So the last thing we're going to talk about, or the last thing I have on my list, is San Marino. San Marino is a tiny, 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 tiny country surrounded by Italy, but they've been taking part in Eurovision for several years now, and they have become slowly a fan favorite, especially thanks to probably Valentina Monetta, who represented San Marino 3 times in a row. And all we have now is some update, and basically that once again San Marino has selected their song internally, because there's not much of an audience. How many people live in San Marino? Like 30,000. So they're going to announce on Tuesday, January the 12th, so in 2 days, the representative, which is really exciting. Then have a big hush-hush thing going on. So I want to talk to you guys about that a little bit. There are a lot of rumors floating around, but why do you think they make it such a big secret? Jake, you think there's going to be a big name involved, or it's just for them to get some media attention?
I think they do it every year, don't they? They make this big thing about who they're going to pick, and they have like the news show, which is basically dominated by Eurovision, and then right at the end they'll play the song. They're only going to announce the act on Tuesday, but from what they've said, they're just announcing the act. The song isn't getting revealed this week, but I don't know why they make a big thing about it like they did it last year, and they were like, oh, it's them. Okay. No, nobody really knew who they were. They'd been in Junior Eurovision, but that was about it. Valentina, in her era, it was great because everyone was like, oh, is it Valentina? And then her face pops up, and then the whole world erupts and everyone's happy.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
They did it with Senate and things like that. I'm not too sure why they make a big deal about it. I think it is just kind of that little bit of extra promotion. But I don't expect a big name. I can see somebody potentially internationally, not necessarily somebody from San Marino, but I have no idea. I just know they're keeping it really hush-hush. And when I got the email last week, I think it was, saying that we've selected the song, I was like, okay, there we go. We've got some news from them finally. But then they've now announced it's going to be on Tuesday, so fingers crossed it's somebody good.
Yeah, we'll find out. And while we're at it, there are already rumors floating around the internet, and again, rumors, gossips, this is not a fact, so don't yell at me if it's not correct. But one of the things that is being thrown out there is that, because in the past, at least since Valentina did the whole Eurovision thing, it was Ralph Siegel who wrote all the songs and was closely involved with the whole thing. So there are rumors that he may not return, and they picked somebody else. Sadie, do you think that's true, and do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's a good idea, but I have read on other outlets that they're going to have a Greek and or a Turk influence in their song. So I don't think it's going to be Ralph Siegel, as great as he is. I don't think it's going to be him.
Gonna be him, okay. What are your thoughts, Stefan? Have you heard anything else, or?
Well, yeah. I also heard that the lyrics were written by somebody from Greece, and my thoughts that's probably the singer has some Turkish roots, something like that. Yeah.
Really? I wonder how that's gonna play out. That would be interesting. I don't know. I'm always very careful when it comes to the rumor mill that's going on online because I could just put on something like I'm going to Eurovision for San Marino, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Matt from ES United is going, I heard, and you could spread that pretty quickly. So I'm trying to be a little bit more careful. But if it's true, it's definitely a switch from what they did before because Ralph Siegel has been doing it for so many years, and based on the track record, at least from the results and what people like, his music is no longer really as current or liked as it was back in the day, because he won in 1982 with the song "I'm Bisschen Frieden," and he had so many great results with Germany. But it seems like every song that he sends, it just doesn't either qualify, or if it does, it barely squeezes through in 2014. When Valentina finally made it to the finals. Barely, but she did, and that's the exciting part. So I want to see exactly what's going on there. I read some of the things about the Greek writer, and we'll find out more. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get the song, but it's a start. It's a start. We need some news because everything seems to be happening so late this year. We don't get any news at all. So with that said, let's find out who are your favorite. What is your favorite song from San Marino? Stefan, I'm going to start with you.
I would say their debut entry from 2008, Mio Dio, with Complice.
Ah, interesting. That only got like 1 point, right? Interesting.
5
You're allowed
points.
to like it. You're allowed to like it. That's not a reason for you not to like it. I forgot about that one actually, but yeah, that one is one of them. Sadie?
Well, can I pick three?
Three?
Can I pick three?
You
It's
can pick three. Although they only have 5 songs. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's all three of them by one artist. Yeah, obviously it's going to be Valentina Monetta. She is. I love her. I'm surprised she hasn't had I'm surprised she hasn't been in it since the beginning. To be quite fair, I think she's definitely got the abilities. I love her.
She is. What about you, Jake?
I agree with Stefan. Complice, their first entry, that was my favorite.
Interesting. I forgot about that one. I don't know if I really like that one, but mine is also Valentina, her 2013 effort. That should have qualified. I really like that song. I was not a fan of the social media network song or the Facebook song, as it used to be called. Uh-oh. But I always loved Valentina, and I must say, every time, like I met her in Vienna again. I met her before in 2013, 2014, and now I met her again last year. She was there right before the semifinals for San Marino, and she was just there, and she was so happy, so relaxed, because she now gets to do what she always wanted to do, music for a living. She lives now in London, assuming that was the most recent update I had from her. And she gets to do music, so I'm glad that things worked out for her, and that she became such a big part of the Eurovision, or the San Marino's legacy in Eurovision. So we wish her the best of luck. It probably won't be her, so people don't get your hopes up. It probably won't be her, but we'll keep you up to date exactly who is gonna go. So do you have any other topics? That's everything I have on my list. Anything you guys want to bring up? Stefan, anything?
Well, just to state once more, because Serbian national broadcaster is really silent this year, and the rumor mill is like going crazy that the Grba and Fraile are actually gonna represent Serbia this year.
Oh, and we reported on that. We put out an article about that. So that is still. And why do you think they're holding back? What is the reason that they don't want to make it official?
Because there is like there's like a TV show going on as RTS, something like I Can Do It All. It's like humanitarian show, and it has like 3 more episodes till the big finale. So I think after that, because they're really focusing on it, they're gonna publish some informations.
All right, so they don't want to steal the thunder from that show and keeping it a little bit more on the hush-hush side. So we'll see if you were right, but that is a good possibility. So we'll see. Sadie, do you have anything?
We have news from the camp of Ukraine. Their final is taking place on the 20th of February. And I've read on various social media outlets that the one we know and love is going to be present. So I think she is. I think she just has to come out and say it now, doesn't she? I think she's going to be there.
Give us the name. Say it. Who is it?
Zlata. I think she's going to be there.
Ah! I love her. I love her song. I love her. I love everything about her. So she's perfect. I hate her. Just because she's perfect. I'm jealous. Yeah. So no, I love her. So that would be exciting. So we'll keep you up to date on that. So fingers crossed and see if we were right. We like being right. How about you, Jake? What you got?
It was something that I brought up speaking to you earlier about Denmark. Not that they've had their entries leaked, which is the second year running that this has happened. They set a date where they're going to make the announcements and when the album's getting released, but someone within DR leaks it. Like I think last year it got leaked. I think it was a week before. Today the songs were leaked on Spotify, so somebody's not doing their job. So I think it's just crazy how a big broadcaster like them can't manage to keep things hush hush for 2 years running.
And I'm not. That's really odd. And I'm not the one that goes with like conspiracy theories. But if it happens once, like last year, it's like, oops, our bad, and then we move on from that. But it happens again this year. It seems almost too convenient. Like, oops,
they're like drawing attention.
I'm sorry, what, Stefan?
I think that they are like drawing attention because last year it happened like 2 days before they're actually going to publish the songs, and it happened due to post office because they shipped CDs 2 days earlier. And this year, as I read, the head of DR said that the person in charge sets the date on Spotify, not 28th of January 2016, but 28th of January 2015. So the songs automatically got published.
Oh dear, that would be like slightly embarrassing. It's interesting because go ahead, sorry.
So like technically, because the songs are published in 2015, none of them should actually participate in the national finals.
I guess they have to sit out this year. That is true. That is so weird that somebody. I mean, I guess mistakes happen, but that is like not just a little mistake. I would think you would check that date like 15 times. I'm just trying to picture, Denmark. They seem to be fairly like relaxed and laid back about it. Like, oops, our bad, we leaked it. Oh well. Imagine that happening in Sweden with Melody Festival. Krista Bjorkman, he would implode, right? He would be like, boom. So that is interesting. So, all right. So, has anybody listened to the songs yet?
Yeah, I did.
I listened to it.
Yeah. So, not to give away too much, but you have a favorite?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I have like 2 favorites, and I'm not gonna ruin the listening to other people because they should listen it. There are some good songs, but in my opinion, none of them is gonna win actually the Eurovision. They don't have the potential.
Yeah. That is one of the things that's just to talk about that a little longer. I mean, Denmark obviously that won in 2013, so they're doing something right. But Denmark, whether or not it's fair or not, has this reputation, or it's being accused of always sending just blah songs, like middle of the road, very uninspiring songs, and people don't really care for them. Yet they always seem to do at least somewhat well, not counting last year. Why do you think that is, Jake?
I think they make the final every year, except last year, and the time before that was 2007. Whatever people say about the songs, I personally love the majority of the Danish songs. Sam, Matthew, Brink, I love them. I love like that kind of era. Last year, if they sent Anne, then it would have been a completely different story. They would have been in the final.
Is that the Suitcase song?
Yeah, Suitcase.
Yeah.
But I think I think they send good songs with good performances, and the acts that they send know how to work it on stage. Look at Emily. She went out there, they had the whole stage, and the song worked perfectly with the performance. Everything, they just smash it. The Danes smash it. They know what they're doing. As you mentioned, they won in Malmö a couple of years ago, and the time before that, it was in Sweden. They won there as well. So for the last 2 times it's been in Sweden, Denmark have won. Can they do it again? Depending on performances, I think the songs have potential. So depending on the performance, I think that's when we'll find out if they could do it for a third consecutive year in Sweden.
Yeah. Sadie, did you like the Danish songs in the past, or you also thought they were more like underwhelming, or do you agree with Jake that Denmark is actually a pretty solid Eurovision country?
I think the only one Dane song that I liked, again, is quite popular, is Emily de Forest. And for me, she's become so mainstream. I think since a lot of artists since Eurovision, since every period of Eurovision, has become mainstream, and she sort of carried on that trend. But no, I don't. As I say, Denmark always send like middle of the road songs that are really uninspiring. So that's why especially why I don't like Dane songs, to be fair.
That is fair, and I kind of to a degree agree that for me it's like hit or miss with Denmark. I didn't like Emily's song at all. Sorry, y'all. I remember like being so depressed when I was like, oh. But there are other songs I did like. I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't call myself a big Schlager fan per se, but I had a very soft spot for In a Moment Like This. I don't know what it was. It just, the song really did it for me. While we're at it, Stefan, I know you're unprepared. What's your favorite Danish song? Or like, give me 1 or 2 Danish songs that you really enjoyed.
Same like yours.
In a Moment Like This.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. How about you, Jake?
Brink, Believe Again.
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah, you said Bring Believe Again. Yeah,
that's
my
my favorite.
One of the oldies from like back in the day.
That's what I'm trying to do, but I can't think of any.
I do remember. I know it's not that old technically, but I remember because I watched Eurovision in 2000. I was, still young, and I was. That was before I knew all the songs before, and I just watched it, and like it was the first time I heard them, and I fell in love with "Fly on the Wings of Love." I'm like, oh my God, this song is so amazing. I called in for like 5 times, and it won. So that was very interesting. And now I look back, I'm like, it's not that good. But it's interesting how you feel at that point in time. It was just, I guess, a standout song. But before that, I'm trying to remember.
I remember there was one in, what year was it? Was it 97, I think? Or maybe been earlier. Where it was like, on stage, it was like set up as an office and they were on phones and things.
It was 97, yes.
Yeah.
It was 97.
Oh, that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's I didn't watch it that year. That was before I was a fan, but I watched it, on YouTube at some point. I was like, I have questions about that. But yeah, that was very interesting. So I haven't listened to the songs yet, the Danish songs. So I'm going to do that when we do the live review of the songs to stay neutral, not neutral, but objective until now. And we'll do that soon. Anything else, y'all, before we move on? It's your chance.
Nope. Not from me.
Nope. All right. Well, we're almost at the 1 hour mark anyway, so I thank you for your time, and we'll be back for sure next week. Make sure to tune in. Again, we need your comments on Twitter handle ESC United. You can go to our forum. You can send us emails. You can talk in here. There's so many things to do. Thanks again, y'all, and make sure to do your research for next week. You always do a great job. I'm not saying you're not doing it. It's not like I'm like reprimanding you. Do your research. No, it's like you always do a great job. So thank you all. I'll see you all next week, and laters.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.